I have not had the honor and privilege of meeting in person or online. I'm also known as Cleveland Hair Boss over on Instagram and TikTok. I'm trying. My old butt is trying to embrace this TikTok. And you wanna know what's crazy, you guys? I put lipstick on for you and it's weird. I don't even know who I am, but you're welcome. How's everyone doing out there? Where's everybody from? I'm gonna be sharing with you some amazing things about Lanza Healing Hair Color today. I'm gonna be working with our powder decolorizer. I'm also gonna be working with some of our liquids, our Lanza liquids. Hey there, hey. And I wanna share with you a way to create a transitional money piece, but while also being able to add dimension at the same time. So as we know, money pieces are hot. I don't even know if that's the proper word anymore, but if we think about like the face frame, the 90s are killing it and I am here for it. I graduated in 1990. I know that's shocking. I'm sure most of you thought I was like 25, but no, I'm not. I'm almost 50. And most of the people that I get the privilege of mentoring were born after I graduated, which I really just have a hard time comprehending, to be honest. But with that being said, I lived through that era. I loved it. I'm here for it. And so one of the things that was so amazing about that time in hair was dimension. Dimension was it. And I don't know if we really knew we were creating dimension. We were creating these hard stripes because we wanted brightness, because we wanted to look cool. So thank God, 30 years later, we know how to take that dimension and brightness and marry them together to create a beautiful, beautiful end result that we can transition into the next trend, okay? So lived in hair color's not going anywhere. However, we are seeing much more contrast. So I wanted to talk with you guys a little bit about how we're gonna start this. All right, so I'm going to be using my Lanza powder decolorizer and 20 volume. Let me get my gloves on. Hold the line. And I wanna introduce you into my model, my fabulous model. And so you can see, she's about a level 6, okay? No color, no color. And so we are going to brighten her around her face, okay? And it's going to be a beautiful transitional money piece. But I also want to maintain some dimension, okay? And so this is a great technique and placement for someone that is even overly blonde as well, or even red or something like that. But this is a great way to introduce people into brightness, okay? For those that haven't had any before. So I wanted to show you guys right here, these two brushes. You guys see these two brushes? Your brush choice is really important. I love to do balayage. I love me some balayage. Balayage, you want to use softer bristle brushes. These are the longer bristles. They're a lot softer. See how flexible those are? It's because we want to be able to make sure, okay, that we're keeping the decolorizer or whatever color you're using on the surface. We need a very light touch. But when we're working in foils and we're looking to push everything through to the other side to get complete saturation of this hair, you're gonna want to use a brush that isn't quite as soft or as flexible. But for me, I love highlighting with a softer edged brush. So here's what's good about this. See how it's not quite as flexible? So at Lanza, we have created some tools and are continuing to create tools that are gonna make your lives easier and also be able to keep up with the trends that are coming and going, okay? All right, so one thing that I wanna make sure before I do this application, I need to find out where exactly, how far back I'm gonna take this money piece. Have you ever created a money piece and you place your foils and you're like, where the hell is it? I'm sorry, hairbrain, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on here. You're like, where the heck is it? Or have you ever placed it and you're like, holy crap, that's bigger than I ever thought it was gonna be, right? That's because we either placed our brightness below, too far below, or too far behind the natural change of direction on the head. So here's what I want you to look at. I'm gonna take the tip of this brush and I'm gonna place it right here. And so do you see where this lifts up off the head? It lifts right here, okay? This is from here forward, everything is gonna naturally spill forward. This is how I know I'm going to be able to maintain maximum brightness around the face. And as long as I keep my horizontal or diagonal below that change of direction, it's not going to look like a hard stripe. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want. But if you've ever placed a highlight, so think about this. We place a horizontal, a horizontal, a horizontal, and they all fall forward. We part it left or right. It's beautifully blended. That's because, now write this down, a horizontal line is the most blended line, okay? A horizontal line gives us the most coverage and the most blending. And when we place it below that natural fall or that change of direction, it's going to naturally spill forward. But as soon as we place it behind that natural fall, it's now going to fall like a vertical. And a vertical line creates the most dimension. We've now created a stripe. Does this make sense? This is the same for cutting as well. Have you ever cut some bangs? And man, they are hot. They are sexy when they leave, but then when they come back, they're like sticking out like over here. And you're like, girl, did you cut your bangs? And she's like, no, you did. And you're like, sorry, man, was I drunk? Like, I don't even know, okay? So we got to pay attention to the change of direction of the head, because here's something important to remember. The parietal ridge, sorry, I want to make sure we can see everything. The parietal ridge doesn't stop at the hairline. The change of direction on the head doesn't magically stop as soon as we hit the hairline, okay? So when we think about the head form, it's not flat. It's a round, most of us have a round head, right? So that's what's really important. So make sure you find that change of direction. Now, I'm going to start from the back here, okay? I'm going to start from the back. And I want to show you, I am going to be working on horizontals. The reason why, okay, the reason why is because I want maximum dimension in this particular look. Because again, the 90s are trending, but I want to create a beautiful lived-in dimensional end result, okay? So I'm going to place about 5 or 6 foils coming from the back. Hold on here. Let me get here. I'm going to start back here. And so now we do have another change of direction. Here's her parietal ridge. So I'm going to start back here and I'm going to create a V, okay? So I'm going to create a quick V, and this is going to be fast, all right? You don't need to place a ton of foils for this. Let me make sure this is nice and tight. I just got back from Big Event in Vegas. I was there for a week. You guys, Alonza Big Event was so unbelievable. I think that's why I have lipstick on. I haven't taken it off since I was there. But it was so amazing. So forgive me, I've kind of forgotten how to use a tripod because I've only had 30 hours of sleep in 7 days. Who went to Big Event? Anyone out there go to Big Event? I want to hear about it. It was so fun. All right, so I am here. Here's that change of direction. I'm taking a diagonal back, 2 diagonal backs, and I'm going to have them meet together at the point of the parietal ridge, okay? And so, hold on. I want to make sure I have what I need here. Yes. All right. So now, if I take this and leave this a slice, it's going to spread and it's going to give me a little more blend. That's awesome if that's what you want, right? Again, I want to create more dimension. So I'm going to take a weave. I'm going to take a deeper weave, somewhat chunky. Okay, so you guys see that? So I'm now creating, although they are still diagonals, it's leaning more towards like a vertical. Okay, so I'm going to tease this. Now watch how I tease this. Okay, watch how I tease this. I'm going to come, because this is going to be internal here. Okay, so I'm going to come from the right side, push it up, and then I'm going to push all of it together. Okay, I'm going to push this up again, get this up and out of the way. And now, if you're not using this, okay, this is called Blonde Boost. This is witchcraft in a bottle. Alonza has created this. This does not multiply bonds, but what this does is it takes the bonds that are already there and makes them stronger to work through the lightening process. But it also helps to keep your lightener active because water or dampness keeps lightener active longer, but it will also help your lightener to push farther, lighter, and brighter than it would without it. I am telling you, I can't live without this. This is Blonde Boost by Alonza. Okay, so I personally spray it on before each section. I'm going to take my decolorizer and I'm going to apply it. Now, remember something. The first point of contact will always be the brightest. okay? The first point of contact will always be the brightest. If I leave that horizontal line there, I'm going to end up with a hard shadow, at least, of a horizontal line. So make sure if you apply on a horizontal line that you know it's going to be visible, come in and make sure you back sweep it immediately. Okay, you've got to get that out of the way. The other thing that's really important is you want to make sure that your slice or the section you're working on is thin enough to get as light as you want it to be. If you're ever struggling with lightness or brightness or warmth, it could be that your section is too thick. Okay, it could be that your section is too thick. So you want to make sure that your section is thin enough so that you can get full saturation. Most of the time, this goes with balayage also, guys. Most of the time, when we're struggling with any kind of warmth, it's due to saturation, okay? And I've seen this all the time in balayage, that I know one of the biggest complaints is that we can't get it light enough or bright enough. And each time that I've seen, most of the time, it's because the saturation isn't there, because we get nervous or something. So now I'm gonna come over here and I've now connected. Okay, now when we're doing teasy lights though, I'll take a little bit of a thicker section because I know I'm gonna thin it out. So here I'm taking it's like a triple weave. Okay, so now I have that more dimensional. I'm going to come here from the outside because that's internal, and then I'm gonna come now. The deeper the tease, the deeper you go down, the more dimension you're gonna leave. Remember that. Okay, remember that. The deeper the tease, the more dimension you're gonna leave. And so when I'm doing teasy lights, I personally like to use embossed foils because they're like a little girthier, you know? I don't know why, a little girth. So I like them because they're girthier and I can push through and they're not gonna crinkle, right? And so these ones, whoa. She's passing out on me, hold on. Hold on, sister. Sorry guys, there we go. All right. So I like embossed foils. These ones are by Quality Touch. And so I like the thickness of them. I love the thickness of the embossed foils when I'm working with teasy lights. So now, do you see how I'm feathering that up? Now, I do mix my decolorizer 1 part powder to 2 parts developer. All right. And I always put trauma treatment in it. So for those of you that have heard of trauma treatment, I know there's people that don't even use Lanza, but they use trauma treatment. You put 5 grams to every 30 grams of powder or color in your formula. So now I want you guys to see this. So I'm going to connect her now. This is the back. So here's her front. Here's her back. And now I'm going to work my way forward. Okay? I'm going to work my way forward. I want to get this so you can see. Okay? So I'm going to take this and now watch. This section right here, when it falls, it's going to spill. Look, that's going to go over here. That's going to spill here. And that's going to spill like that. Do you guys see that? So it's important that we think about where is the natural fall on the head. I always think of the vertical breakdown as I'm placing color because I want to think of where is it going to naturally spill on the head. Just because I created a horizontal here doesn't mean it's going to fall into a sheet like this. It's actually going to spill into its vertical breakdown. Okay, so remember that. So now I'm going to actually take my comb. This is my pink pewter comb. I'm obsessed. It's my favorite. I'm going to go in the middle. You guys see that? I'm going to go here, middle, and turn. Give myself a little push in the middle first. And then I'm going to tease from the sides. Okay, again, I'm looking to create beautiful, lived-in softness. This is for someone that we're looking to create some quick brightness, maybe in between services, or it's an introduction into color. It's a great way to really create a huge impact with not a ton of work. That's the one thing I think that a lot of us tend to do is the 500 foil march. And that's definitely something I'm not into. And it's not because I want to do less. It's because I just don't always need to. And sometimes when you do more, you're doing too much. And it's like we're not getting the end result we want. Do you guys ever foil? You'll do a full foil every time they come in, or even like a very heavy partial foil every time they come in. And then by the third or fourth appointment, they now look like a single process. It's because we've eliminated all of the depth or the dimension. So it's important that we understand where that needs to live on the head so that we don't lose it all. Because that's what creates the single process look. And that's definitely not what most of our clients are going for. So now I'm going to take another horizontal. And so this is where I can see where this is going to spill and this is going to spill, right? So that's how those are going to spill. What questions do you guys have? What questions do we have out there? I'm so excited to be here today. All right. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to tease from the middle a little bit. I'm going to deeper tease, including the middle, deeper tease, including the middle, and make sure I have that all in, okay? That creates a little bit of that like V shape, okay? A little bit of like that V shape by going in the center. Hey, Heather. There's some, Heather Spath is on here. She's on Instagram. She's High Maintenance Hippie. She's so talented. You should follow her. And she's a Lonza artist. She's fantastic. Hi, baby. So my client is dancing in my chair. Do you ever have those clients that dance in your chair? That's when you want to like smack up. Don't do that. I'm just kidding. But one thing you can do, if you have those guests that they just won't stop moving, I seriously put the fear of God in them. And I will tell them, okay, here's a tip from mama to you. I will tell them, I need you. It is imperative for the end result that you and I want to get today. I know you don't like when your hair's warm. I know we don't want to see any spotting. It needs to be as bright as possible. It's going to be critical that your head does not move through this process. So I'm going to have you take your elbow and rest it on the arm. Take a fist, and I want you just to lay your head just like this. You guys, she'll be there for 5 minutes. You'll finish that whole side of the head. She won't move again. You can do the same in the back, okay? You're welcome. If you put the fear of God in them and let them know out the gate that what they're doing could actually create a negative end result, like we let them know they're a part of the service, I promise you, you'll get past that whole like them spinning their heads everywhere. Like, I don't know. Are any of you guys even old enough to remember the movie The Exorcist? How they spin their head around everywhere? I don't know. It's funnier in my head. I have those moments, you know what I mean? Sometimes things are funnier in my head. All right. So now, making sure I have total saturation. When I want to make sure and ensure there's better saturation. Oh, look at the mess on my floor. I take my brush and I turn it vertical now. Okay, if we keep it horizontal like this or parallel, we're going to keep most of the colorizer on the surface. If I want to make sure that I'm pushing it through the other side, I'm going to turn my brush vertical and, or at least close to vertical, and push it through. Does that make sense? Does this help? All right. So let's get these ends. The other thing is, oops, sorry about that. It's not, you want to think about when we're swirling the ends. You're going to get a more even, better lift, truly, if the foil is long and we never have to move it. But if the hair is at the ends, taking it like this and just laying it is going to allow for better saturation, okay? It's going to allow for a more even lift every single time. So if you're a swirler, I was a pasta twirler, like I really was for a long time. And then I was able to break that habit when I realized some of my ends maybe weren't lifting as even as I wanted them to. And when I stopped twirling, I noticed a huge difference. Okay? All right, so now we're getting to the high point. The high point lines up with the mid-top of your ear. Okay? The mid-top of your ear lines up with the high point. So everything from the high point back or the high point, it's going to spill like that. Okay? So keeping that in mind. So now I'm still working my way forward. I'm getting to the high point. I want to make sure that I'm including this high point. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 foils. I'm on my 5th foil and I'm basically done with the back. Okay? What questions do you guys have? Who's out there? All right, and I'm still working on this horizontal. I'm excited to blow her out and style her for you guys. I will show the end result. We will show it in the comments here, but I will also share it on my Instagram, which is Cleveland Hair Boss, for those of you that don't follow. And I'm assuming Lonza will share it as well in their stories, okay? So just stay tuned for that. So you'll have a few places where you'll be able to find it. All right, so I'm now going to take my foil, place it here. I always say you should be able, when you're looking for maximum brightness. Now for her, I'm not looking to get it white, so I'm not quite as concerned. I don't want to say I'm not as concerned. I am, but I'm not looking to get her like white. If you're looking to get as light as possible, you need your sections to be very, very thin. I always say you need to be able to watch TikTok through it, or you need to be able to watch reels through it. Like we used to say, read a newspaper through it. Now it's like you have to be able to watch TikTok through it. All right. So here we go. We're going to gently fold up here. All right. Now I'm allowing my foils to lay flat. I'm not folding them up. You also will always get the best lift by allowing the foils to lay flat. Now, that doesn't mean that I never fold them, okay? Hi, love. Can you tell everyone what you're spraying on the hair? Yes, I absolutely can. So what I'm spraying on the hair is Blonde Boost. It's a pre-treatment. And so for those of you that are just joining, you spray this on before any lightening. So it could even be by lightening with color. Okay, and so I spray this on before each section. I personally like to do it section by section. A lot of people do spray it on the entire head. You absolutely can do that, but I like to have it localized to the area that I'm working on. So when hair is damp, the lightener will stay active longer. What this also does is it keeps the bonds strong through the lightening process. It doesn't multiply the bonds. It takes the ones that are already there and makes them stronger, okay? Excuse me, and then it also will help your lightener to actually lift farther than it would have without it. I'm telling you, this is magic. Magic. All right, so so now I want you guys to see where I'm at, okay? So here I'm still working on this horizontal. I'm going to continue from the back because I want to end with the money piece coming toward the back, okay? So I'm going to have my guest tilt her head up. May I have your name for IG or yes, of course. They're the same. It's TikTok and Instagram is Cleveland Hair Boss. CLEVELAND Hair Boss. Thank you. I would love for you to come hang out with me. But let me see how I work my again. All right. So I'm going to have my guest. Our guests have this thing called a neck. You should use it. Okay. So I'm going to have her tilt back. And I'm going to continue forward. So you guys can see her profile. I'm going to continue working forward. As I'm working forward, I will start to get my foils a little closer together. Okay? So now, that was 5 foils. And here's foil number 6. Okay? So I'm going to come here. And again, so this is my version of, you guys see that Kelly Clarkson picture floating around from the 90s? Yeah. So a lot of our guests are bringing in that picture. They think that's what they want. I like to tease in like random areas sometimes because that helps to, do you ever do teasing and you still have a hard line? It's just a softer hard line. So I like to tease in random areas because it helps me to diffuse any type of a hard line that could be trying to buck its head, you know? So I'm gonna spray here. But this is how we can create almost that like bordering on stripy dimension, but it's like a softer lived in, more modern, I guess, or maybe more gentle approach to it, okay? It's something that our guests can wear for a long time and also transition into the next trend, whatever that could be. And it's also not gonna lock you in to high maintenance. It's going to be a low maintenance solution for them. All right. So now we're going to do another one. Can you guys see? And again, as we work our way forward, once we get to the front, I want to show you how I create a beautiful, beautiful money piece that's transitional. And when I say transitional, that means it's a soft transition towards the back. Okay, so if you're looking, so a lot of our clients, they want to be on trend, but they don't want to be trendy. Does that make sense? How many of you guys can relate to that? They want to be on trend, but they don't want to be trendy. And so this is a way to keep our clients on trend with what's going on out there, but they won't feel like they're trying too hard, you know? And that's a thing. You know, you gotta, especially like, like for me, I want to be on trend, but I never, and I'm almost 50, I don't ever want to look like I'm trying to be like 25. It's just not my jam. But I want to be cool. I want to have fun. I want to enjoy the trends that are going on out there. So this is a way, and especially if we have those personalities that aren't ready for a big, bright money piece, which again, nothing wrong with that. They're beautiful, but they're not for everyone. Right? So this is a way to brighten them, bring them forward. I love to use Lanza powder to colorizer, especially if I'm trying to work through old color. Okay, a powder to colorizer is always going to work through old color on the hair better than say like clays or cream lighteners because they're a little more aggressive. And so, and when I say aggressive, that's not always a negative. All right, it's not always a negative. It's just that the ammonia content is going to be higher. So I want you guys to see here. Can you see? Look, she's falling asleep. Come on, Susie, Jenny, whatever her name is. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, there we go. You guys see her? Okay. So I'm going to bring this back, this sectioning back. And so again, I'm still working on this horizontal. So I'm going to, now as I'm working forward, I want you guys to see, I'm approaching, okay, that lift off. I'm approaching that lift off, okay? So I'm going to make sure, let me make sure I can get, and so when you're doing teasy lights, you also have the ability to work wider, right? So if you ever have an experience where, say, you have holidays, is that what we call them? If you experience a holiday or a bleed mark or a banding or something like that, typically our section is too wide, okay? That means typically our section is too wide. Now, the closer I'm getting to the front, I'm not gonna go quite as far away. I'm gonna be like here. So I want my teasing to not be quite as deep because I want it to be a little higher. But anyway, so if we are experiencing creating holidays, the reason for that is typically the section's too wide. It's wider than a peace sign. And we're trying to get the hair to look like it's growing like out of their scalp through their nose hairs, up like out of their scalp. And it's too wide. So when you're wider than a peace sign and you want the color all the way to the scalp, that could be part of the problem. And then to top it off, it might be too thick. So those are 2 or 3 instances that could be creating those bleed marks or banding for you. So now, because I'm trying to work it and I want to make sure that I get it through the other side, I've now turned my brush. And again, this is the shorter bristled balayage brush made by Lanza, and it's going to give me a little bit more tension. And also the brush has more tension to the bristles, which is allowing me to be able to have more control of my placement and to push it through. And so now I'm saturating, pulling through to the other side. And here's the thing, I'm almost done. Isn't this wild? And so here's what I will do. When I'm done with her, I'm not gonna root shadow her before I finish her. I want you to be able to see how beautiful this is, and I'm gonna leave it, and the only reason I would even root shadow someone when I do this is for tone, not necessarily for blending, okay? Because it blends so beautifully. All right, so now here I am. All right, here I am. Do we have any questions out there? I'm gonna leave a little bit in between. Okay, so can you guys see? That's not very thick, right? It's not very thick. So I'm gonna come back here and I'm going to This is going to be like my transition piece because I'm right on there. So here we are. Here's my transition piece. I'm going to, nice and soft, and I'm going to place this right here. So what are some of your favorite toners, you guys? I love using Lonza liquids. I don't know if, for those of you that haven't used it yet, here's some of the things that's really important to know. Not all liquid hair color is created equal, okay? And I've used several over the years. What I am obsessed with, not only is it because the shine is insane, not only is it because I have never been able to control warmth like I have with our 06AX and 08A, blowing my mind, the P's, I can't even, I'll put it on everyone. But the more you mix it, the thicker it gets. Have you ever used liquid hair color and it's like you see spotting on the hair when you shampoo it, or it's a struggle to keep it in place, or it pulls down farther than you want it? Hold on a minute, would you do the sides as well or just the top? That's a great question. So for this particular service, I would do like one on either side, one or two, like one here, one here, one here, and on the hairline, and that's it, okay? And that's it, just a connector, just a connector. Again, this is not a full foil. This is not intended for someone that's looking to go super, super bright. All right, it's for someone that either maintenance in between, or we're looking to introduce them into color, or they're a single process and it's time to give them some brightness and dimension, right? Because our single processes can get pretty flat. Would you guys agree? All right, but anyway, so the thicker the liquids gets, the more versatile it is, you know? All right, so now, nothing in between. I'm not leaving anything in between, all right? So I'm going to come in here and weave. See how I'm weaving this? So now, hold on. Leave these guys here. Actually, you know what? Hold on. I want to make it so where these lay back. So I'm going to come this way. Boom. Push this back. Okay. So here I have this, and I'm going to give myself a little tease. This one's going to be a little bit of a deeper tease because it's the thinner section, okay? So this thinner section, I'm going to do a deeper tease. And then I'm going to take the one right behind it. And so look, I'm also keeping it kind of low. I'm not coming all the way up. That's so this can transition, okay? That's so this can transition. So I want you guys to be able to see. I'm using Lonza powder to colorizer, and I'm using 20 volume. But here's what I will tell you, on an actual client, a live human, I might start with 10, okay? I started with 20 on her because I want her hair to lift a little faster, mainly because she's not human, and I'm, you know, okay with it. But low and slow, you will always get better lift low and slow. I love to foil with our powder to colorizer and demi. And so Lonza's demi is equivalent to about a 7 to 8 volume. So it's gonna be the slowest that we have. And so a lot of times when I'm looking to do super bright face frames, you know how the hair around the hairline is less dense than everywhere else on the head? And you can visually see when it changes, right? I'll use powder and demi. And I hear so often, they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know I could do that. Heck yes, you could do it. I do it all the time. I'll sometimes even use cream with powder. I'm sorry, cream with demi, and then I'll transition to powder as I work my way behind the most fragile hairline hair. Because I like to start in the front because I want it to be bright and even, right? I need it to be bright and even. And I know that, like, if I start in the back and get to the front, I'm gonna have to blast it with 30 or 40 volume, and it's not gonna get where I need it to go. Okay, so look, this is one foil broken into two. That's one section broken into two, and then this is all that's left in between. Okay, and so now, look, this is all I have left. I'm almost done. So I'm going to do the same. So I'm going to take this thinner slice, and I'm making sure to include the whole hairline here. okay? So I'm going to boom, boom, like this. So these pieces I'm leaving out. And so if you don't want them to get lost, what you can also do is take a flat clip. I love these from our ones. Take a flat clip and then keep those there, okay? When you use the chunky clips, you can actually dent the hair that you're working on. So I'm going to tease right here. And again, I'm working off the head. So the reason I started from the back is also you can pull those foils more quickly, right? But because I want everything to be laying off of her head. You know, I want everything off of her head. And I also can pay attention more to where the change of direction is. And so I'm going to get this close, but not to overlap the teasing part. Are there any questions? How many of you guys use Lanza right now? How many of you want me to do a giveaway on my Instagram? Who wants to win a bottle of this? Woohoo! Give me some hearts down there if you want me to do a giveaway on my Instagram. I would love to. It's like the best. All right. And if you're not following Lanza, you need to go follow them. And you hashtag Lanza Love. And we love to feature our users. Okay. And so I know right now, I think until the end of the month, you guys, if you haven't tried Lanza, or even if you have, our leaders are on sale. They're like, oh my, I think they are 20 or 30% off right now. Don't quote me, and I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank, but now's the time, and you only have like 2 days left, so you better get your butts moving. All right, so I'm going to tease this one deeper, okay? The one that's behind it. All right, so there's someone that's saying, I just popped on. What are you spraying? So what I'm spraying is called Blonde Boost, and it's by Lanza, and it helps to protect the bonds of the hair as it's lifting. But also what it does is it helps your lightener to stay active longer, because when your lightener is damp or wet, it's always going to stay active. Have you guys ever gotten lightener on your black pants and then you spray water on them and then it's like a spider web, right? It's like it gets worse. And so that's because water keeps lightener active. And so by spraying this on, it's going to help to keep your lightener active longer, but it also, the technology helps to push your lightener past or farther than it would have gone without it. So you get a more even brighter lift by using it. It's my favorite. I'm obsessed. I don't know how I did hair without it. Seriously, I don't. And I have really worked hard, and I want you guys to see I have her whole hairline in here. Okay. So I have her whole hairline in here, and I don't know if she was drinking before she came in. She's just like, she's not well, but it's okay. We're going to give her a great service, but I'm all the way here. Okay. All the way here. So I'm going to she's on a widow's peak. So I'm going to take that little widow's peak out. Okay. We're going to take that little widow's peak out and follow her actual hairline. It's important to follow her actual hairline. That's how, when they pull their hair back, it doesn't look like there's a big piece missing, okay? So now I'm gonna take this piece and I'm not gonna weave it, all right? I'm not gonna weave this piece because I want it to be brighter. And it's gonna fall forward, okay? Okay, so we're on our last like 2 to 3 foils on the top. And we're spraying and we're blending. What questions do we have out there? Are you guys seeing people are you still doing a lot of like strong fringes or strong money pieces? What are you guys seeing out there? I want to hear. The other thing we shared, I did this technique at Big Event. I'm actually going to probably share it to my Instagram pretty soon, or that when you do an overlay with our demi and translucent, but then you put our 200 series right over top of it. That's what I did to my hair. And so see how it looks like I balayaged it, but it's like this soft like kiss, you know? So I want to share a little bit more about how you can use our 200 series, which is killer. And it has a little more, it has actually much more ammonia to it, which gives us a little more lift. That's what I also add to my gray coverage. So if you guys ever struggle with gray coverage, add 5 grams of your high lift, like our 200 series. Oh my God, my foils, hold on. What did I do? Here we go. Add 5 grams to your 30 gram formula, and it will increase the alkalinity in your bowl, and you'll get better gray coverage. You're welcome. All right, so here we are. I'm on my last one. So now I am going to I'm going to weave this. Do you guys see? I'm on the hairline. I'm going to do like a softer weave here. Okay. I'm not leaving a ton out. This, I'm going to tease them both. All right. But this one here, I'm going to just do just a little baby tease. Okay. Baby. Baby, baby. And I'm going to get that close. The reason I like to tease the ones that are in between is it creates that transition. That's the part that helps you with the transition. Now again, this is not all the way to her root, and it's on purpose. It's because she's going to college, or she doesn't have time. She's got tons of kids, or she travels a lot and she works a ton. And so she just needs this to look good for 4 to 6 months. And we need to just glaze in between. Okay, so that's where the money pieces that go all the way to the root on the hairline, they're higher maintenance. They grow out, they can grow out pretty strong, right, with a harder line. And so this is a great way to provide your guest, like I said, either an in-between or an introduction. Okay, and so now I'm going to tease this low here. Can you guys see that? And I'm just gently coming up here. Not super high. Not super high. Because I want that face frame to be the focal point. In case you were wondering how I get my apron like this, there you go. It's all about the creative process. Would you guys agree? So we're almost done here. What do you guys think? Who's excited to go do some hairs? Huh? I would love if you end up using this technique on anybody and you post it to your Instagram, please tag me. I would love to see it and share it to my stories. I would love to just be a part of your journey. I love it. I love it. I love it. And so does Lanza. We are so, you guys are so important to us. And everything we create, it's for you to make your life easier, to make your business grow better. That's where we, believe, inspire, grow. It's a mission. And I'm so honored to be a part of it. It makes me giggle. Like in a good way, All right. So I'm going to spray right here. All right. So as we start to wrap things up here, I just want to say, and see if there's any questions about, you guys have any product questions? Did you guys hear about our new True line? Our waterless shampoo? You guys, holy crap. It is amazing. Amazing. I am obsessed with it. It's gotten to the place where my daughter requests it. She doesn't want to use anything but it because it feels so good on her hair. So I don't know if you guys know this or not, but there are different types of ingredients and fragrances that go into different types of shampoos. And so if you have a client that has a sensitivity, it might not be to the shampoo. It could be to certain preservatives or certain things. So this is actually considered clean, like real clean. All right, so if you haven't heard of that, I'm going to be doing a video here very soon on my Instagram showing me using it and sharing everything you need to know about it because it is sick. Like, I'm so proud of Lanza that we've created this because we need it. We need it. All right, so let me get this last one here. Okay, and again, this is a deeper tease. All right. A gentle upsweep. That's what I also love about these brushes. I think it's just such a nice, gentle upsweep. when you're trying to do teasing lights or foliage or anything like that, using a hard-edged brush, it's hard to blend out that line. So talk to your distributor about these. They're just amazing. They're my favorite. All right. So that wasn't so bad, was it? So here we have our sweetheart. Oh, do you guys treat your clients like that? I'm like, get your butt. No, I'm kidding. I'm like, how am I busy? Okay, so here we are. So now we have all this here. This would be up to you if you want to add to it. I'm not going to. I want you to be able to see the end result without adding anything to the sides. Okay, so I think it's important, and I think it's a great opportunity for you to see how less is more. Okay, now again, this isn't for the person that pulls their hair back and they're like, oh my God, it's too dark. Well, yeah, of course it is. We didn't put anything there. Okay, it's not for the person, you know, if they go half up, half down and they don't want to see this dark. This is a strategic placement that's going to add money to your books. It's going to decrease your time. Okay, and excuse me, by using our Lanza powder to colorizer and adding our trauma treatment and our blonde boost, you are going to be creating the most healing blonding experience that you've ever had. Okay, so that's one reason why at Lanza our ammonia is so low in our color that at our higher levels the ammonia doesn't go up higher. It's consistent from level 1 through 10, which is why we create some of the coolest, healthiest blondes on the market. All right. So if you have any questions about Lanza, shoot me a DM. I actually will return your DM. You can also comment here. You can message Lanza. We are here for you. So I just want to thank Hairbrained for having me. This was such an honor and a gift. I love being here with you guys. So again, check out Lanza's page. If you have any more questions, we will be, let's see. Okay. And I see that lipstick. Brandy, I've had it on since Big Event. So it's Brandy Heater, you guys. She's our, first of all, she's the youngest vice president in the beauty industry. Just so you guys know, she's kind of a big freaking deal. And I look up to her so much. So anyway, so thank you so much for being here. And again, if you have any questions, shoot out Lanza. Don't shoot them out. Shoot them a message. Shoot me a message, and we are here for you. And don't forget, leaders are on sale. So if you want them, you only got like 3 days left.